Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. It's Claressa Shields time because I wanted to talk about this lady because, as you know, I'm sure you do know, her arch enemy, her nemesis, Savannah Marshall fought at the weekend and looked like one of the hardest female punchers I've ever seen. Starched, ironed out, levelled, whatever you want to say, Femke Hermans, who was previously never stopped in several defeats. Savannah just blitzed her with a big left hook, and it was a type of power you don't see from women fighters very, very often. And Claressa was there because, of course, she's meant to be fighting Savannah next. Now, I watched an interview with Savannah on Sky. I think it was on Sky. It was on YouTube, but it was a Sky Sports interview. And she said something that's kind of put an alarm bell in my head. She said, the interviewer said, "You're going to go back to the northeast to fight Savannah," and she instantly said, "It's not going to happen. Nope. London. We'll go to London. That's where I want it. Where I won one of my Olympic gold medals." And she carries those belts and those medals around everywhere, wherever she goes. I think she sleeps with them, and the medals and the belts are probably in her bed, and she sleeps in a little basket at the side. That's the image I've got in my head. But anyway, she said, "No, I'm not going back to the northeast." And this kind of, I didn't say anything previously, but this kind of, because I thought maybe I'm wrong, but this kind of indicated to me that experience of going to the northeast, and Savannah isn't a Geordie, she's from Hartlepool, apparently. I mean, she talks like a Geordie as far as I can hear, but they say, no, we're not Geordies, we're from Hartlepool. Okay, fair enough. But she's certainly from the northeast, and that experience seemed to me to really shake Claressa. There was a look in her eyes, a body language, and yes, she got in the ring and she had a little exchange with Savannah after Savannah's win and all that. But just when she was interviewed, there was rather a defensive sort of demeanor, and a look in her eyes. She didn't seem to. I don't know whether it was Shields, it was Savannah knocking out Hermans in the way she did. I don't know whether it was the boo she was getting. It was the real, the air of enmity, the air of, we're supporting our girl, we're her army, and you may have won 2 gold medals and 12 world titles, but we don't give a fuck. We're supporting our girl, and you don't expect us to bow down to you. We're not going to. Because Claressa came over to England, and at the start of that broadcast on Saturday, she was saying, people love me here. People know who I am, and I'm glad to be back. I'm here to promote the fight, but it's really great. It's almost like I'm in my hometown. she had a very different view by the end of that. And even sitting there in her chair watching the fight, she looked uncomfortable. And in fact, somebody left comments on one of the videos I did earlier in the week, and they said that they were at that fight, and Claressa did look really, really uncomfortable. And in fact, it was pretty nasty. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that away fighters should be abused at all. I don't agree with that. If you've got the guts to go to someone else's country, you should at least be given a little bit of respect. The flip side of that is that Claressa has got a big fat mouth, comes across as being very shrill and screechy, and she is the self-proclaimed greatest woman of all time. The gwoat, which I fucking hate that stupid word. What is a gwoat? I know what a goat is. It's an animal. What the fuck's a gwoat? Anyway, she calls herself the gwoat. She's got a little chain with gwoat written. And, she clearly she kind of asks for trouble, verbal trouble, of course. You should never get physical, and I kind of think, she has brought a lot of it on herself with her very arrogant, very overbearing behaviour. She might be a nice person away from the ring. I don't know. I ain't got a clue. Never likely to meet her, but I just think she was shaken very, quite badly. And I think that she's having, I just wonder whether she's having second thoughts. I just wonder whether getting her into that ring to fight Marshall might be a lot more difficult than people thought. Some wag said that one of the guys who commented on one of my videos said he thinks she's going to get herself pregnant just to avoid Savannah Marshall. I don't know whether she'd go that far. Did she get married recently, Claressa? She may have done, I don't know. Or she's become engaged or something like that. But I do get the impression she don't fancy Marshall, getting in there with Marshall much. And despite the fact, I mean, she even said at one point during an interview, post-fight interview, I think, no, don't think much of her power at all. I want her to hit me with that power. No, you don't, Claressa. You know, what do you think we are, stupid? You know, and if that's true, and I don't think it is true, I think you're lying, but if you want to be hit by that sort of power cleanly, then you're an idiot, because you'll get knocked out. So will any other woman. The one thing, you know, that you have to concede is that Savannah Marshall has a great deal of power. And while Claressa's only got 2 stoppages on her record, but she's faced very, very good women. Her record is stacked. Even the girl, I can't remember the girl's name, but the debutante, when Claressa made her debut, she made it against, I think it was another debutante. And that opponent, I wish I could remember her name, but she was good. And I think I'm right in saying she's undefeated since then. She hasn't had as many fights as Claressa. She had about another 7 fights and she's won the lot. So the quality of Claressa's opposition has been extremely good, whereas you can't say that about, recently it's been good, but you can't really say that about Savannah's whole resume. So Claressa would probably have more knockouts had she faced this, a lower level of opposition. And probably she does hit hard enough to maybe trouble you if she hits you cleanly, but I don't think she's a puncher at all, Claressa. Savannah certainly is. So it's quite wrong to sort of... But the fact that she would say that, well, she's got no power, there's nothing for me to worry about. I'm better in every way. And there's some self-denial there, I think. She doesn't appear to be speaking rationally or logically or like someone with the confidence that she wants you to believe she has. So I'm beginning to have doubts whether this fight's going to go ahead. I really want to see Marshall against Shields. It's one of the fights. It's probably the fight I want to see the most in boxing, women's or men's. But I'm beginning to wonder what's going on here. Something's going on. Something ain't right here. And as you know, if you watched my videos before, I'm someone who detests the conspiracy theory mentality, paranoid sort of lunacy that seems to be prevalent in modern society. But maybe I'm falling into it with this one, No, I don't know. I hope I'm wrong. I just think I have doubts about this fight, whether it's going to go ahead. What do you think? Do you get the same sort of vibe that Claressa's unnerved and spooked a bit and might be looking for a way out? Or, I definitely get that vibe. But let me know what you think. Leave your comments below. Thank you for watching this video. And if you're new to the channel and you could subscribe, that would be great. Love to have you on board. Hit the subscribe button. It only takes a second. Hit the like button if you like the video, and we'll speak again sometime. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and of course, as always, much love to all of you. Bye for now.